Hello and welcome. My name's Jake, and today we're going to be going over a new feature in Azure Local called network security groups that are going to provide micro-segmentation to virtual machines. First of all, what is it? Well, it is ACLs that can be applied to virtual NICs or logical networks. And the kind of cool part here is the VM is not aware of the ACL and it can't bypass it. So if someone compromises a VM, they could turn off Windows Firewall. They won't be able to get past the network security groups. So here's a detailed diagram. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I did want to say that it was recently completely rebuilt for this so that you don't need to deploy a network controller VM anymore. It's just a role on the failover cluster. So, what do we actually have to do to get this running? Well, step one is going to be to add the network controller feature to the cluster. This will not be required when it goes GA, but because this is still public preview, we have to run a command to get it enabled. Then we're going to have to create an NSG, create some rules in it, and apply the NSG, in our case for this demo, to the vNICs of the VMs we're going to be using. So here you can see I'm opening up a new PS session to one of the nodes on my cluster. And I'm simply running the command add ECE feature, name NC, and then giving it the SDN prefix. This is going to be the DNS name for the network controller service once it's all added. Gonna go ahead and say yes to confirm that once it's enabled, it cannot be disabled. Once this feature actually does go fully GA, you won't have to add it in PowerShell.
A few moments later.
And now you can see that it has been completed. Enable mock SDN, status completed. Took for me just under 10 minutes. So on the cluster, we're going to head over to network security groups and go ahead and create a new one and give it a name. There's really nothing else to do to it, so you can go ahead and click create. And then we gotta wait a few minutes for that to get created.
A few moments later.
Alright, so to speed up the video a little bit here, I went ahead and created these two allow all rules and went ahead and applied the NSG to the 3 virtual NICs that we're going to be using for testing here. So you're going to be able to see that all 3 VMs can ping the gateway, and the first 2 VMs can ping the third VM at that .151 address. So we're going to go ahead and create some rules here. Alright, so the first rule that we're going to make is going to be to prevent the third VM .151 from being able to ping the gateway. So we're going to do an outbound rule for that. Set the source as that third VM's IP, set the destination as the gateway, set it to ICMP, and give it a priority. Now the names do matter a lot here. I would be descriptive. They have to be unique, so you can't have an inbound and an outbound rule named the same thing. And it's just generally going to help to have some sort of naming convention there. So, got that being created. Does take a few seconds for that to get pushed down to the network controller on the cluster, but it's not too terribly long. You can see that rule just got created, and then we're gonna switch over to the VMs here, and that third VM already hasn't been able to ping the gateway for a little bit. So next up, we're going to create a rule to block any pings to that third VM .151. So to do that, I'm going to do an inbound rule. Of course, give it a lower priority than the 2000 allow all rule I have, and say anything to the IP address of VM3. Might want to notice I'm doing in the name there, uh, just so that I never get any conflicts between the inbound rule names and the outbound rule names. So we're going to go ahead and click add. Again, that's going to take us a few seconds here. And then we can switch over to the VM view. And here you can see VM 1 and 2 can no longer ping VM 3, but they can both still ping the gateway just fine. So as you can see, this was a pretty simplistic demo. We really only blocked pings to a couple of VMs and gateways. But the possibilities of what it can do are quite big. You could have a default rule that blocks all SMB to all of your VMs on an entire virtual network that really shouldn't have SMB going to it because they're app servers, web servers, whatever. And you can have that applied before the VMs are even created and powered on. All you have to do is apply it to the logical network that those VMs are going to go on, and it's going to be blocked out of the box for you. A whole bunch of stuff you can do. Hoping to see some more cool features to tag along with this. But this is already a huge deal for a lot of people. So, hopefully you found this helpful. Let me know, if you've got something interesting you're trying to do with network security groups. And until next time, have a good day.